Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Reptile Barn. It's not actually the morning, it's the middle of the night. But we have work to do, so here we are. We thought we were finished with everything, and a big girl laid a clutch of big eggs, or laid a big clutch of eggs. Maybe they're big eggs, I don't know. And we're gonna check it out. And you're gonna come along. And I also have a topic I want to discuss. This was by request. Someone reached out to us. So I'm gonna pull her and start chatting at you. This is Colette. She is a spider. I will show you the father. She's a big girl. I expect a decent number of eggs. Hey, beautiful. You gonna be nice? Yeah, maybe. Come here, sweetie.
Oh, she'll be fine.
Oh, yes. Ooh, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And look at this emptied out girl. Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
It's okay,
That
Colette.
is
It's
crazy.
okay. It's okay.
Poor thing must be so tired.
Yeah, she's definitely wobbling a little bit. She is a spider. I am going to go wash her real quick with just a drop of soap and some warmish water. It's better to get the smell of the eggs off of the female so that she will go back on feed quickly and not try to like incubate her water bowl or something. They really have a strong instinct to wrap once they've laid their eggs. So, oh, this poor girl's so stressed. So while I get these eggs set up, I wanted to talk to you about an update on how our year-round breeding of our ball pythons has been going. I know it's only May, so it's still in the regular, what everybody does, part of the year, but it's been different, mostly from like a planning perspective, I feel like. We are not cooling down our snakes at all in the wintertime. So it's really just about food intake and copulations as far as getting the females into more of a breeding mode. As opposed to normally you do a cool down and you have your snakes just naturally go into a breeding season in the wintertime, and then they would then, lay their eggs in the summer after building long enough. But we aren't doing that. So the differences really truly have been in the planning. We have to make sure we have a male available when a female decides it's time to breed, right? If a female starts bull wrapping, she starts glowing, she starts cool seeking a lot, all the signs that she's building follicles, she needs a male in there immediately, right? Well, you can't breed your male 12 months out of the year. You just can't do it. So you have to make sure that you have enough males. So the concept of backup males has become very, very important. We have to have a diverse enough group of males that we are happy whichever one ends up being the father of the clutch. So that, for 3 or 4 months, our one male can be breeding a certain group of females. And then he needs to stop. He needs to get back on food. He needs to rest. And we don't breed our males super heavily when their breeding season is. But regardless, we can't just go forever and ever. So then another male needs to take over for any females that are then starting to come into the part of their cycle where they would be receptive. So that the planning part has been extremely different for us than the previous years when we would just wait till November and every single male and every single female would be pairing up through March or April, and then nobody would be pairing for the whole rest of the summer and until the next winter. The real benefits to this, for example, Mystique, the female that laid the Mystic Potion, we did a video on that. She was not up to size in November. She just wasn't. So we waited until like January or so to even start pairing her. And because we wanted to make sure she was going to keep eating and that she was going to get enough size on her that it would be safe and healthy for her to breed. In a traditional year, we would have waited until the next November. Even though it was only 2 months later that we were like, okay, now she's reached a bigger weight and we're confident she's eating strongly, we would have waited a whole another year for her. Instead, we got a beautiful clutch of eggs. So it's really nice in that way that you can just pair your snakes once they're ready, instead of this arbitrary, well, it's not October or November or whenever you start your traditional breeding season. These snakes are proven to have laid eggs every single month of the year in captivity. Probably in the wild too, I would guess. And so we have liked it. I mean, there's not been crazy amounts of differences. Hopefully, we will keep getting clutches slowly trickling in throughout the whole year. We're kind of at a spike right now. We had a bunch of females ovulate around the same time, so we're gonna get 4 or 5 clutches just within a month of each other. But our hope is that with first-time females especially, whenever they reach a certain size, we'll start pairing them, and those copulations will kind of push them towards follicle growth, and eventually they'll ovulate and they'll lay eggs whenever it was that they got big enough. We like that. The reason we wanted to do this is because we didn't want to get all of our baby ball pythons at the same exact time every year and then go the rest of the year without any new babies. From a business standpoint and from just the excitement of getting new babies standpoint, we want to be like looking in the incubator and there's always something coming, right? Or looking at our females and being like, oh, I think this one's going to go soon. It's exciting as a breeder. And from a business standpoint, right now, I'll be honest with you, we have 2 snakes left for sale. We have 2. And I don't like that. We want to have variety for people. We're not doing tours right now. Obviously, no one is. But we still have people ask us, what do you have available? And I'm like, we have 2 snakes, and pretty soon those are going to be gone. And it'll be 3 or 4 weeks before our very first eggs of the season are hatching. And most of them are claimed on waiting list anyway. So we don't like that. We don't want to have like a period where we all of a sudden have 50, 60, 70 babies and then 8 months of the year we have almost nothing, right? We'd rather space it out. We don't have a huge collection. We can't just hatch 6,000 babies and sell them during the year for you know what I mean? It just doesn't work for us.
Oh, someday.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we're never going to produce that many babies, but we'd like to produce more than we are right now, definitely. So, anyway, I'm just trying to bring you into our mindset of why we went to year-round breeding, as you would call it, and how it's gone for us so far. I think an update in August or September is going to be more useful to see like how did it compare to previous years. And then even more so in December, January. If we're still getting eggs in December or January, we did something right, and I'll be happy. That's what we want. I would love to get a clutch or 2 of eggs every month of the year and just have slow but steady trickle of new babies, new projects. But it does, I guess another thing to consider though, we have bought a couple of high-end males recently or traded for or whatever, because we need more males in our collection if we're going to do it that way. The traditional, each male will breed 5 to 7 females if you don't have an ultrasound machine. If you do have an ultrasound machine, there's people breeding their male to 12, 15 females because they can pair them just at the exact perfect times and not waste copulations, if that makes sense. But we're figuring for us it's going to be better to have more like 1 male for every 3 females, because every single group of females actually needs 2 males at least. I'm starting to realize, I watch these other big time ball python breeders and they're like, oh, I gotta go check which male this was. I'm like, what do you mean? Every single female you ever pull eggs from had multiple males in with her? How is that? Why would you do that? Well, now I'm starting to understand why you do that. Your male can't go forever, and if your female isn't quite there yet and your male's just wore out and you gotta pull him, you need to have another male ready to go immediately. It's already got sperm plugs going and everything. So anyways, I don't want these to sit out in the cold too long. It's not actually that cold. Our house is boiling hot because we have so many snakes that have heat and it makes our house warm. But they do need to go in the incubator, and I don't want to talk you guys' ear off. But the year-round breeding, I'm enjoying so far. I like it. It keeps me more engaged with what we are breeding, who is doing what. The first thing to watch is always your females. Their eating habits, especially. If they all of a sudden just surge in their appetite, like they just are devouring food, they want everything in sight, that's a great sign. Start pairing them. If all of a sudden they go off of food entirely, that may just be an indication of the season, but it can also mean that they've reached a certain level of follicle growth that they're just not comfortable eating anymore. Pair them. There's these signs that the females will give you if you watch them. After they ovulate, don't pair them. Don't waste your male. You're not, either they're fertile or they're not after that point. So if you are checking your females meticulously every single day, twice a day really, you will hopefully catch the ovulation, the swelling in that like bottom third of their body, and the eggs have left the ovaries and they're either fertile or they're duds, and there's nothing more that breeding can do about that. So you also need to watch your males. We have a couple males that we pulled early this year. In fact, Dragonite, who I'm going to show you, I promise, we pulled him early. So I'm really glad that Colette laid when she did, because I wouldn't want her to be a girl that lays in September and she went 5 months without breeding. That doesn't mean they'd be duds necessarily, but the fertility does wane somewhat over time. So you'd like to have recent copulations if at all possible, right? And you also don't want a female to breed and then sit right on her hot spot for weeks and weeks and weeks because she's not really ready to go. That can kill the sperm. And then, later on her body takes off and she ovulates and everything, and you get a lot of duds. So you want to have recent copulations if at all possible. Anyway, I'm going to candle these guys. I'm going to make sure that they are all correctly oriented. But first, I'm going to show you Dragonite. Let me set these down. He's a beautiful boy. And don't tell Gavin, but this is his last year with us. We are sending him back to his daddy at the end of this year. So we will miss him dearly. But we are so hopeful to get a male to keep from this clutch. Come here, Dragonite. I know, you're still hungry. He did come back on food, so he's starting to thicken up again, but he got pretty skinny this year. Anyways, this gorgeous animal, oh, look at him, just stunning, is a banana green pastel. Okay, the banana's obvious. The green pastel is more subtle. I love it. I love what it does to the pattern. I love what it does to the color. I feel like he stays more yellow than adult bananas usually stay. I just love it. Really cool combination. He just ate last night, so I'm not going to mess with him too much. But I would love to see the triple, the banana spider green pastel. I love banana spiders. I think it's a spectacular combination. The green pastel is subtle, but it does have some effects, and I don't know what the effects would be in that particular combination, so I don't know, but I'll bet it's awesome. So there you have it. 11 eggs. That is our biggest clutch so far of the season. I think our record ever was 14. Actually from a female who may lay later this year. We will see. Regardless, 11 eggs is fantastic if they're all fertile, which they look great. Although the last two clutches have tricked us, where they've had eggs that look perfect and then one or two of them had no veins at all. But if these are all good, then 11 babies will be just wonderful. And hopefully we'll get a lot of bananas in there because there's a lot of people waiting for bananas from us. So I'm thinking of you guys, waiting list people. But yeah, so let me know what you think, your comments on year-round breeding or this clutch or anything else. We've got some more cool updates coming soon. We're going to do a tortoise update. We built finally our enclosure for the tree monitors. We have a black tree monitor pair in their new mansion, and it's gorgeous. We've got some cool videos coming up. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we are the Reptile Barns.